case you haven't been watching my vlogs or didn't know, I am in Tokyo in Japan. I've been in Japan for the last 9 days. Today's our last full day, and Drew and I have had this on our list pretty much since we got here. So today we're finally doing it. We are going thrifting or vintage shopping or whatever you want to call it, secondhand shopping here in Japan. And I'll be really curious to see what's available for someone in my size. I'm typically like a US size 16 for those wondering. And I've heard so many good things about this particular area called Shimokitazawa. A lot of different people have been kind of talking about this area for their vintage shopping for both clothing and otherwise. So I'm really excited to check it out and see what they have to offer. So we're gonna take the train, head over there, spend part of our last full day thrifting and just seeing what it has to offer and trying out secondhand shopping in another country. You know, I've done one of these when I went to England a couple of times with my friend Alexa. I love finding secondhand pieces when I'm in a new place, and what better than like an entirely new country. So let's see what they have to offer and go thrifting in Tokyo. I can't wait. I'm so excited. It's so cool here so far.
I did what I was supposed to. There's nothing left for me to do. So now I'm walking out my head through open windows. Cause that's what I feel like.
Okay, first stop, we're outside of a place called 2nd Street, and I think it's more like a chain. I think they have like an online store as well as an in-person store. So let's see how our first store goes.
Walking into this first store, it kind of gave me like the impression that it was more of a boutique style setup. So I first looked at some of the jeans. None of them were really my style or anywhere close to my size. So I decided to just kind of browse around, get a feel. I was getting a lot of business casual vibes. I did find a couple really cute Disney crew necks, but this first one was stained and it was a bit overpriced for my liking. And then the second one was like literally falling apart and it was 6,900 yen, which is the equivalent of about $60. So I passed on both of those, and I realized while walking around that the stuff that was in this downstairs area just wasn't necessarily my style, so we decided to move on to the upstairs area of the store.
I might end up switching strategies here and just going for the men's section because that feels more like sizing that I'd be comfortable with, but we're going upstairs. That was like the, I guess, designer section, and now we're going up to ladies and men's, so we'll see.
Once we got upstairs, I was so excited. There were so many cool things, like amazing selections of maxi skirts. There were so many cool sneakers, Doc Martens. I wish I was like a size US 7 because I would have had a heyday. I went through all of these dresses. They were so cute. None of them were in my size, but I did find a couple of pairs of overalls that looked promising. So they looked kind of like baggier, oversized. So I grabbed a couple of those to try on. I was pretty impressed with the overalls. And what I didn't know or expect walking into this was that there was so much American stuff. Like I was expecting to find Japanese stuff, but everything was like NFL, college teams, American brands, etc. There were so many good crew necks. These were all pretty vintage as well, but I did notice that the prices were pretty reflective of vintage prices as well. So that sweatshirt was about $100. I am truly devastated that I did not pick up this Sonic America's Drive-In sweatshirt, but the price was just entirely too much for me. They also had a really cool selection of a bunch of different denim jackets, lots of different sizes, washes. They have like an acid wash. They had kind of moto looking denim jackets. So I grabbed the few items that I had, headed into the fitting room. I saw these sort of like 80s Reebok pants. Those were not it. And then the overalls were actually way too big. They were way too long. They were way too big. So they were meant to be like extremely oversized, which I know like baggier items are more popular, but these were just not for me. And then this sweater, I love how fuzzy and cute it is. I did end up picking this up. Spoiler, we'll talk more about it later. And then this last item that I tried on was this cropped sweater. It was really cute, but it was just a little bit too short for me in the arm, so I ultimately passed on this one.
I got one thing. It was $7. I'm so happy. Really, it's more like $5. Noelle is in there buying like a whole new wardrobe. She got really lucky. So far, so good.
Directly across from that 2nd Street was another vintage shop that we decided to pop into, and it had the cutest curry shop above it. It was so adorable. So first I went looking through the flannels. I loved them, but there weren't any that like I particularly needed. And then there were so many Harley tees. We were actually on the hunt for a Harley tee for one of our friends. He collects Harley tees from other countries, but none of them were the right size or the price. I found a US Postal Service jacket, a bunch of really cute denim bomber jackets, loved those, a really cool Chicago Bulls leather jacket, so much cute outerwear in that shop. And then the next shop that we decided to pop into was called Desert Snow Secondhand Vintage Clothing Store. It was so cute. This reminded me a lot of a vintage store that you would find somewhere like on Melrose in LA, or even some of the vintage shops that I went to when I was in London. There were just a lot of cool like windbreakers, Letterman jackets, lots of really cool outerwear was the theme that I noticed for the day. They had so much cute Disney stuff and Looney Tunes. We'll get into that in a little bit, but a lot of these prices were reflective of like vintage shop prices, so upwards of like $100 for that Nautica jacket. I loved this section of like kind of rainbow colored vintage windbreakers. Really, really loved this one. So adorable.
Hell yeah. Raise hail. Praise Dale.
I saw these unbelievable Disney jackets. This first one was reversible. The second one was like so vintage and cool. They were just not the right size. I was so sad. All three of these jackets were amazing. I also found some really cool overalls. It was an amazing store.
Just left. This place was really, really cool. Definitely more like vintage prices than thrifting prices, but like really, really good stuff. Just not a lot was in my size, but we did find a couple things. So I think we're gonna take a lunch break and then continue on with our thrifting day. I love it here.
I'll be dancing on the lawn when it
After lunch, we went right back into it. We headed to a place called Pigsty that Drew had seen and saved on his map. So this was like a place that we had planned to go ahead of time. We had heard amazing things, and oh boy, were they right. This place was probably my favorite place of anywhere we went this day. There was so much good stuff.
We found this entire rack of Mickey Disney stuff. There's so many cute ones. But I'm very particular with my crew necks. I need like a double XL, and these are all large. It's not quite big enough, but so cute. I mean, yeah. Yes. I spoke too soon. We found the one. Iconic.
to say something, I come up with nothing. Maybe we can talk until we figure out a topic.
Pretty good. Kind of expensive though. But it's like when in Tokyo, you know what I mean? Oh, I think I'm gonna have to do some damage in here. What I'm gathering today is it's a lot of crew necks. So many crew necks, which we know is a problem for me. So please pray for me because I've already gotten 2.
This store just had so much good stuff. And again, like the prices kind of varied, but there was just such a selection. There were so many different racing jackets, Letterman jackets, amazing outerwear, crew necks galore. Like I loved this place so much.
Next up, we are going into a place called Step Ahead. Apparently it has good reviews, and we're gonna find out.
There were a couple racks of clothing outside of the store to look through, which I thought was cool. We headed down into the store though, and there was so much cool stuff. Like this was definitely a lot more curated, a lot more kind of like street style. This Boyz II Men shirt was incredible. It was just too expensive and not the right size, and I fell in love with this Iron Maiden crew neck. We'll talk more about it later. I did try on this Harley zip up, but it was a size large, so it just wasn't like oversized enough for me. They also had some cool snapbacks with their little logo patch on the front, which we did pick up. They had a really cool selection of overalls, and probably my biggest regret of the trip is not picking up this Taco Bell shirt, but we had done enough thrifting and it was time to go.
All right, I think I've done enough damage for the time being. I think we're gonna wrap it up here. It's about like midday now, and I have quite literally filled up this bag, so I think it's just time to call it. So we'll head home, back to the US, back to LA. I'll wash and sanitize everything, and then I'll show you a try on haul of everything I got. But I could not recommend it enough if you're in Tokyo to come to this area and come thrifting. It is unlimited. Like I could literally be here for another 8 hours going through every single shop, but I will have no money left. So take my word for it. It's really, really good, and I can't wait to show you what I got.
All right, it's about a week later. I am back in the USA, sadly. I'm back in LA, and I have washed and sanitized all of my thrifted stuff from Japan. I did get quite a bit of stuff.
It was so good. It was so good. It was definitely more along the lines of like vintage shopping than like true thrift stores. There was a little bit of a mix of both, and it was a little bit expensive, but it was so cool. I literally had to restrain myself from buying so much stuff. Drew and I actually ended up buying a suitcase so that we could put all of this stuff in it on the way home, and it was so worth it. So I'm gonna go through everything in this pile, show you what I got tried on for you. Drew and I did get a lot of stuff to share. That's kind of what we do these days. We share a lot of jackets, sweatshirts, t-shirts, sweaters, things like that. And today was no exception. So we will start with the pile of crew necks that I got. If you watch any of my thrifting videos, you know that I have a problem with crew necks. It's just, I don't even care at this point. I'm just gonna keep going. I love crew neck sweatshirts. I pretty much wear one every single day, and I really prefer like an oversized crew neck. So typically I wear a men's extra large to extra extra large, and that can be kind of hard to find in thrift stores. And so I was thinking that, you know, going to Japan, what's the size inclusivity gonna be like? There wasn't much, I'm gonna be honest, but in the men's sections, I was actually able to find like a lot of really cool stuff. So the first crew neck that I got is one that Drew actually picked out, and it's an Iron Maiden crew neck, which looks similar to an Iron Maiden t-shirt that he and I both share, and this is in a size 2XL. It's like a Gildan heavy blend, really good quality vintage sweatshirt. I love it so much. I'm so excited to wear this around. Style so many cool outfits with it. It is starting to warm up here in LA, so I may have to just like wear this around the house and then wait until it cools off again, but oh my god, it's so good. I don't remember exactly how much any of this stuff was. There were things that were upwards of like US $60, but then there were things that I got for like $4 or $5. I love this one so much. Next up is a sweatshirt that's actually really funny because it reminds me of The Office, and our friends that we went to Japan with, Josh and Noel, are big Office fans as well. We always quote The Office, and we were actually just talking about Andy and his obsession with Cornell. If you know, you know. And then I saw this Cornell sweatshirt and I was like, this has to be mine. This is in a size extra large, so it's more, not fitted, but it's not like that super oversized, and I love this. It was actually funny because most of the stuff that I saw in Japan was like American stuff. American cities, American states, American schools, American brands, and I was really hoping to find like some obscure, you know what I'm talking about, like at the thrift store, for example, in the US, where they have like convention t-shirts or family reunion shirts or whatever. I was hoping to find something that was like Japanese. Like for example, there were people on the train and they were, I think, like linemen or construction workers or something, and they had like these really cool jackets, and I was like, see that? Like that's what I want. But the majority of it was just like American stuff, and that's fine because I mean, this is just such a cool sweatshirt. I love the red color. It's nice and vintage, like it's so worn in. I love the sort of like faded graphic on the front, like it's just perfect. I love it. Maybe I spoke too soon about the last one being my favorite because I feel like they just keep getting better. The crew necks just keep getting more and more fire as I go along. I found this crew neck. It was like at the beginning of one of the shops that I walked into. It was like folded out on a table in the front, and I was like immediately, yes, that's going home with me. And it is this Tommy Hilfiger crew neck. Look at how cute this is. It's a white color. It's so faded. It's definitely vintage. It's an extra extra large, and I love it. I think it's so good. I think it would be really cute to wear as like an actual outfit, like with some cargo pants or some like baggy jeans. I'm gonna get so much wear out of this, and like I don't know what it is about a really faded, worn in crew neck that just really gets me going, but I love it. So that is another gem added to the bunch. And then this might be my favorite thing of the entire trip. One thing I will say that a lot of these vintage stores had was really cool vintage Disney stuff. Like so much Disney stuff. You know I'm a Disney vintage girly. Like I just love wearing vintage stuff to Disneyland. It's like one of my favorite things. And it was kind of a bummer because the majority of the stuff that I saw was like a size small, size medium, which is like kind of typical going to the thrift store anyways, but especially in Japan. But I found this, and it's maybe one of the best things I ever found. It's from the Mickey Unlimited brand, and it's a size US 24W. So it is like an actual plus size sweatshirt, and look at this. Can you even? There were so many other ones to choose from too, and I don't know what it is about just like this sort of 90s turtleneck underneath it that's sewn in, but I love it. I love it so much. I need a chilly Disney day to wear this to immediately. It's so cute. It has Mickeys all over it. It's like neon. I love that it's like extra long too. It's almost kind of like a tunic sweatshirt, so it's really oversized. I can wear it with so many different things like leggings, jeans, and I will cherish it for ever. Next up we have a cardigan, and this was actually the first thing that I saw at the 2nd Street store, which I would say was the closest thing to like an actual US thrift store that there was. It was set up a lot nicer, like a lot nicer, but there were little like bins where you could kind of dig through and find more discounted items. The downstairs was more of like kind of like a designer type of stuff, and then upstairs was more kind of affordable stuff, more vintage stuff, and there really was like a mixed bag as far as pricing goes, and this was my best deal of the day too. This is a sweater by the brand We Go. It's in a size large, but it's very oversized, and it's this like super duper fuzzy kind of argyle pattern sweater, and look at this. I love this. I'm so obsessed with the idea of this with like a graphic tee underneath it, some really baggy jeans, maybe some black jeans, like some faded kind of mineral wash black jeans. I don't know. I'm in love with this, and also Drew and I fully got this to share as well. And besides a couple things that I'll show you, I think this was my best find of the day, and it was 700 yen, which I think equates to about like $6. This was actually the first thing I bought of the day, and it's perfect. I love it so much. Next, I did pick out one jacket. There was one thrift store that we went into that had so many cool, colorful jackets. They had jackets of every color, and Drew and I have been really into sort of like vintage windbreakers, but not like the 80s ski windbreakers. It's like the almost like working jackets, if you will. I don't know how to describe it, but you'll see when I show it. And this is a yellow one. I kind of was torn between a few different options, but I loved this. So this is a jacket that says Kissimmee Rotary Florida State Airfare. So it's like an air pilot jacket, I think. Shout out to Jay. Thank you so much for your jacket. Somehow it made it all the way to Japan, and now I brought it back to the US. And on the back it says, what does this say? Executive Squadron. So there you go. And I just loved the yellow color. It's lined. It's like not thick, but it's not thin. It's really soft on the inside. Like, I'm just a fan. I want to say it was about $20, so pretty affordable for a jacket. So that one will definitely be getting some use. And then last but not least, I got 3 t-shirts. 2 of them I'm kind of sharing with Drew, and then one of them is like, mwah, perfect. So we'll start with the shared ones. This one is actually, we went to a thrift store, one of the like ones, I don't even know if I filmed it, but we went into a thrift store that had 50% off everything. So all of these t-shirts I think were or maybe it was, I think it was like around $10, and then it was half off. So I got all of these for around $5, which is a screaming deal. And this first one is a Scooby-Doo tee, and it has Japanese written down on the bottom. That was the selling point for me and Drew. We were so excited because there was nothing that had Japanese on it, and we were like, we need to get something, and this is the one. It's so cool. It's got like a cool design on it. It says Scooby-Doo, and then it has the Japanese writing under it. It's a size large, I think. Honestly, the tag is so faded. It's like so vintage that you can't really tell, but this is a gem. So good. I actually styled it underneath that cardigan as well, and I thought it looked really cool. Drew is probably gonna wear this more than me, but I will for sure wear it as well. Like, it's just such a cool shirt, and for $5 you literally can't beat it. The next shirt, another shared one, is an extra large, so it's a little bit bigger, and this is by the brand Peanuts. Really super worn in, and is this Snoopy and Woodstock, is that his name? I'm pretty sure. I love that the graphic is faded. I just feel like the more wear a shirt has, the more valuable it is to me. Some people may disagree, but I feel like it looks cooler. It makes it look more vintage, worn in, comfy, cozy, and also like you can only do that with time. So it just shows that it's a bit older and that it's been around for a while. And so like to me, that just makes it more special and valuable. So I love this, love the color. And then last but not least, the last thing I got on the trip was this amazing gem of a shirt. It's by the brand Common Threads, and it is this t-shirt that says precious and perfect, and it has these little kittens on it. It's so cute. Again, this will likely be a sleep shirt for me. It's super oversized, but so cute and cozy. And honestly, I could easily style this, like, again, with cargos, oversized jeans. If I'm going for kind of a cute baggy look, like, I love this. You could tuck it in. You could wear it with like a little cardigan over it. Like, there's so many different options, and I am obsessed. You know, I love a t-shirt that has like a cute little phrase or slogan or just adorable little animal print. So I am so happy with everything we got today. The area area that we went to, which is called Shimokitazawa, was the coolest place that we went when we were there. There were so many cool cafes and shops and places to get a drink and places to get wine and places to get food and places to shop, and like it was definitely somewhere that I wish we had spent more time, and I will definitely go back to when we go back to Japan in the future someday. So if you are going on a trip to Japan, I would highly recommend going to this area if you're into vintage and secondhand shopping and just like cool areas in general. I really loved it. It was kind of like right smack dab in the middle of a neighborhood, and it was fantastic. Can't recommend it enough. So anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you for coming along with me on my trip to Japan. If you want to see more kind of day-to-day when I'm in Japan vlogs of my experience, I have a vlog channel. I don't really talk about it a lot on my main channel, but I post on there usually like 2 to 3 times a week. That's always linked in the description box below, so if you want to follow along on my Japan journey, that will be down there and you can see more about my trip. So yeah, make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. You can also turn on my post notifications if you want to be notified every time I post a new video. Thank you so much for being here. I'm sending you all of my love, and I will see you soon in my next video.